Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Vancouver Sevens. This one is a fifth place semi-final taking place between New Zealand and Argentina. So what that means is whoever wins this game faces the winner of France versus Great Britain for a fifth place finish in the Vancouver Sevens. New Zealand narrowly missing out after Spain were able to get themselves just enough points to move through to the semi-finals. On the other side of the equation, Argentina, well, they were in a tough group. They had in their group France, who they had a pretty decent back and forth with. They also had Australia, and then alongside that, Fiji was in there as well. Currently, there is a match between Japan and Chile currently taking place, but as soon as that game comes to a close, New Zealand versus Argentina will start right up. Looking through at the starting lineups for New Zealand, it is Rob Rush, Brady Rush also in there, Dylan Collier, Sam Clark, Sione Molia, Akulia Rokalisoa, and also Frank Vainuku. And there too, Argentina, Zeno Zangara, also Graziano, Castro, Luciano Gonzalez, Pedro Dajaro, Marcos Moneda, and Santiago Alvarez. Both of these sides more than capable of being able to get the victory, but it's just whether or not they gel early on day two for the Vancouver Sevens. And also, it is all not lost for these two sides because there is still one more leg of the Sevens to take place. That is next week, and it will be the New York Sevens before heading into the championship just a little bit after that, I should say. Commiserations to the Black Caps, says Jasmine, and hi everybody, says Bruce, and Moreau says Antho, and there too. Hopefully you guys are all doing very well. I hope you are excited for the Sevens. Now I will mention daylight saving must have happened in Canada, and these games were all initially going to be an hour later, but now they are an hour earlier. So there's a bit of confusion around what time certain matches are taking place, but all of the streams schedules now, they are correct in terms of the times that they are starting compared to with when the matches are starting to. So the next game that we have got will be South Africa versus Australia. That is at 8:33 a.m. New Zealand time rather than at 9:33 as initially anticipated. And then Fiji versus Spain, that is at 8:55, the other semi-final taking place. But New Zealand and Argentina just making their way out onto the field now for this matchup. New Zealand, they had a tough outing up against the South Africans. Got off to a good early start. Got off to a great finish in that contest. South Africa got off to the great start, leading 17 points to nil. And New Zealand just falling at the final hurdle, narrowly missing out on the semi-finals. But this Kiwi side, they've got a mixture of younger players as well as a few of those experienced veterans, one of which is still suspended from playing in this game, and Tony Nashu. So it does bring Akulia Rokalisoa, who was initially just going to be sitting on the sidelines for this tournament. He is now back in and rearing to go. Peter Martin will be the referee in charge of this one. This match just about to get underway. You let me know who you think will win in the chat as well if you haven't already. The Pumas, they'll be kicking off from left to right to get us underway. And this contest, hi, I've made it to the Sevens Rugby. But I don't know what is happening as I know nothing about Sevens, says Hannah. That is no worries at all. It is greatly appreciated you being here for this one. A knock on from New Zealand initially. So it does bring the scrum feed for Argentina, an early attacking chance for the Pumas here. Vodka lemon on a Sunday night listening to Sevens. It could be a horrible Monday, says Fleshin. Well, the slightly good news about the weather here in New Zealand is it's currently still pouring with rain. So it means that, it's 7 a.m., but more than likely not a lot of work would be getting done if I wasn't streaming. So that's always good. Currently still plenty more to come. It will be a late night for yourself in the UK, Fleshin, if you do stay up for all of the Sevens, that is. I think the last one's on at about 2 a.m. your time. Well, it's going to be fed in, though, by Argentina at scrum time. Way to the right. Stepping back inwards from Santiago Alvarez, the Pumas captain. Ball's loose. Picked up now by New Zealand, who showed just a little bit more intent. Played on the ground from the Kiwis. Should have been the penalty to Argentina, but it is going to be a New Zealand scrum feed. Inside of their 22. Smile on the face of Akulia Rokalisoa. I think he is happy to be back out there. Now, whoever wins this game, they get to play France or Great Britain. That game is kicking off in around about 5 hours' time, or actually 4.5 hours' time. I believe it's gone from warm, sunny to freezing and grey within 2 days, says Fleshin. Not ideal. Is it supposed to be warm this week though for you, or is it supposed to be just not great weather for the rest of the week? Pumas, says Mr. Kano. As this is a semi-final, this is not quite it's a 5th place semi-final. So what that means is there's 8 teams on the 7 circuit for the men's, and these 2 sides are playing off to then whoever wins this game plays another side for a potential 5th finish. So New Zealand finished 3rd in their group. I believe Argentina, they must have finished 4th. So yeah, that's why these 2 sides play off now for a potential chance to finish 5th, as everyone's got to have a ranking 1 to 8 at the end of a tournament. I am sorry about New Zealand and the cricket. Consecutive 250 plus innings by India is incredible, says Nick. Yeah, it was a solid innings to watch off the bat of the Indians. New Zealand's batting innings was a bit lackluster. They were going more at a test match speed at times, but now running up the middle, Frank Vainuku trying to cut back in and around the defence of Zangara, gets past 1, almost moves up to the halfway line. Okay, says Hannah. So the next game that we have got, South Africa versus Australia, that is a semi-final though for the men, and the other semi is Fiji versus the Spanish. Passed on the outside, Sione Molia cutting inwards now. Still got Luciano Gonzalez and Marcos Moneta in the starting lineup. That just kind of shows you the importance of this game for the Argentines. Normally they'd like to rest 1 or 2 of them, but Clark now thinks about passing on the inside, but he will score it himself. No, he does pass it across. Collier gets the try. It is a good way of getting in the skipper's good books, is gifting him a try between the posts, but it also makes for an easier kick here for New Zealand to take the lead 7-0. And try, says Jasmine there. We're on the cusp of spring. Could snow tomorrow, says Fleshin. And it works like this. Each half is 7 minutes long, 7 players on the side. 7 tries in 7 minutes will be, well, not the last one, but the 2 first ones are correct. We can sometimes have 7 tries throughout a matchup, but this one's seeming like a little bit of a lower scoring one between the 2. Sometimes in 7s, I feel these teams make tries more difficult when they need, or then they need to be, says the Sporting Kiwi. Yes, in that case, they did just want to make it a nice, easy conversion, as they do know the danger of the Argentines on attack and didn't want to risk the chance of going down 7 points to 5. We've also got to remember New Zealand missed their first 5 kicks at the post throughout this tournament. So obviously not feeling confident in that regard, although they have now got Akulio Rokalisoa back in that kicking department, which does make a big difference for the kicking percentage. Now Molia goes across to Dylan Collier. Thought about the pass on the inside. It will be a yellow card for Argentina for the deliberate knockdown. Unfortunately, no matter whether you almost catch it or not, if you have a half a hand on it, you do end up going to the bin for the 2 minutes. But 3 minutes remain in this first half now. New Zealand will have the man advantage. Akulio Rokalisoa out to take the quick tap. Does just that, moving away to the right-hand side. Thought about the wide cutout pass for Brady Rush, but instead just pops it to the side to Dylan Collier. Now Brady Rush gets it away to Rob. Does get a good fend in. Still going forward here. Good power from Rob Rush, who just didn't want to go down. Ball available at the back of the breakdown for New Zealand. Akulio Rokalisoa across there, Molia. Waiting for it out wide, but Frank Vainuku cuts back in and scores it himself. New Zealand get their second. Now, this is a bit of a trend that the Kiwis have had, with the exception maybe of that game up against South Africa, and that is scoring tries early. Is Rokalisoa in any NPC team, or is he a 7 specialist? I believe he's a 7 specialist. I can't think of any side that he's connected to. I know a few of the other guys, like an Andrew Newstub, he's got an NPC team. Who else can I think of? I think that Curry was connected, or Dixon was connected to one for a while. Of course, he's now retired from the 7 side of things. Brady Rush might. So I think it just depends on the player. I think maybe Brady Rush and Rob Rush might be Northland boys, are they? And Hamish, you are in a nice black t-shirt now. Yeah, I decided to switch out of the nice dress shirt. It obviously jinxed the black caps a little bit. That one's going to be taken by Argentina. They are going off to the left-hand side. I'm glad that I didn't do what I initially was going to do, though, and that was wear a black cap shirt. I'm glad I kept that one in the wardrobe for now. A lot of pressure coming in on Castro, getting driven back towards his own goal line. Almost looked up to the referee as a plea for help there. The Argentine player, he didn't really know what he was supposed to do when getting driven back so many metres. Now pressure on Graziano in the breakdown, thinking about stealing it. No, penalty goes against New Zealand for side entry. How long is halftime? Halftime normally is around 3 minutes or so. So pretty much for these Sevens matches, they're just all out pace, 7 minutes playing for the first half, break of around 3 minutes, back for the second 7 minutes, and then about a maybe 2 or 3 minute break before the next game starts up. So it's pretty much just an all-day affair, and it takes 2 days to complete these Sevens competitions. New stub is meant to be in the Highlanders, but not getting picked over Cam Miller or Tane Robinson. Is he playing actually in that experiment, or like the Highlanders B team? Maybe. I think I saw his name recently. Now, line out throw. You find someone like a Thomas Lavanini also in that mix. Hasn't made his Highlanders official debut as of yet. Off to the right-hand side, Luciano Gonzalez cuts through, and Argentina will score just before the halftime break. It's a trend in the Kiwis at the moment. It's almost like there is a script that says they have to score quick, and then they have to concede before halftime to make it a competitive second half. Halftime is pretty much a water break in Sevens. How much longer are you going to be going for, says Roof? Last live stream is in about 7.5 hours' time. So we'll be going until then. And then I will probably hibernate for a good 18. Oh no, I won't be able to get 18 hours of sleep actually. But I like to get at least like 12 if possible. I'm probably about 20 hours behind in terms of my sleeping currently. Conversion has gone over from Argentina. Halftime now in this contest. It is actually 14 points to 7. So either side still have a great chance of making their way through. And vamos, Pumas. And goodness, you're a Duracell battery, Amish, says Ruth. Yeah, I feel like the tiredness, it won't kick in until maybe after the second, or I'd say after the last semi-final, when I've got that maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hour break. That's when I'll start to feel it, but that's also when I should have some food, so that'll wake me back up. New Zealand please score first in the second half, says Jasmine. Yeah, the Kiwis, for the sake of the whole tournament, in terms of the competition standings as a whole, they really do need this victory, because if they can finish 5th and South Africa finish, let's say, anywhere in that top 4, New Zealand will lose a little bit of ground on them, but not a massive amount. If South Africa do lose their semi-final and New Zealand finish 5th, they might separate themselves by maybe 2 points, somewhere around there. Hamish the GOAT doesn't need sleep. I think I definitely do need it. It's just I've tried to ignore it for this weekend. The bad news is next weekend I think is supposed to be just as hectic. The only difference is we won't have a T20 World Cup final to cover. So it actually works out nicer because I should be able to sleep throughout a decent period of time. New Zealand will be on between 68 and 74 points. If you could add two teams to create a Southern Hemisphere Six Nations, who would you add? Fiji and Japan, I would say. Like, that seems to be the ones that they were looking at a while ago, and there were rumours that it might end up happening, but I do think that they're probably the two sides that deserve it. You could argue that you could go with another Pacific Nations side. I'd actually, other than the fact that they would never do it, it would be quite cool to see the side that win the Pacific Nations Cup rewarded with a Rugby Championship the next year, but that's not something they would do. Harry sleeps with his eyes open. And come on, the Pumas make it even Stevens, but kicked off now for the second half. That one hasn't gone the 10 metres from Akulia Rokaliso. In fact, it's hardly gone 5. So it will now be the kickoff, or the free kick for Argentina around the halfway line. Vamos Pumas, says Mr. Kano there. And the decision is quick tap for the Pumas rather than the scrum. Santiago Alvarez, he has made his way back out onto the field after his yellow card. Marcos Moneda trying to test out his step up against the youngster and Sam Clark. About 6 hours viewing time left. I might have to dip out to watch an apocalypse film in between games. Says Fleshin. Well, hopefully you've managed to get a decent amount of sleep in the in-between stages, or else you might end up falling asleep during the movie. Definitely if they've got the comfy chairs. Go New Zealand. What do you think about New Zealand coach? Well, the New Zealand coach isn't even with the team. At this stage, he is stuck back in New Zealand. He wasn't able to get his passport cleared in time, so they have got I think one of the assistant coaches is coaching the Kiwis for this one. It was a little bit too high from Dylan Collier. In fact, no, sorry, that was Sione Mollier that time. I'm surprised you slow screaming. And I'm sorry, this is my dad's device, my device on charge. Oh, it's still streaming, I think that is. Maybe rather than slow screaming. Yeah, we are still going. We've still got plenty more too. Another probably 7 or 8 matches of the Sevens still coming around the corner. But Tejaro runs off to the short side. Argentina 40 metres out from their line currently, but would need a try soon. Right back into this contest, playing half. Alvarez looked like maybe Roderick. Well, not Roderick, sorry. Akulia Rockoli, so I could have been offside. And the breakdown. Hello, Miss Kiwi Sue. How you doing? What is your favourite animal? Mine is a sea lion. They are hella cute for real. Says Junior there. All bounce to the ball. Zangara does knock it on. Back for the scrum. I don't know what my favourite animal would be. I feel like I have animals that I find, like, funny. I do quite enjoy watching pandas. Just because they have no clue what's going on in the world, but they just chill. They fall off their hammocks and all sorts, and they're just funny things. It's only 6 p.m. here, says Fleshin. Oh yes, that's not too bad, is it? 6 p.m. Okay, so the final for you will be at about 1:15 a.m. I think, somewhere around there. Now sub being made. Lasanga makes his way on for New Zealand. 4 minutes left in this contest. I remember years ago, Tonga, Fiji and Samoa made a combined team for a European tour. Could be an option for the Southern Six Nations. Well, it would also... I don't know how well a team would go, right? But if we can't have the Southern Lions, imagine if we could have like a Pacific Nations combined team that gets sent up north and play up against some of the northern sides and the Six Nations and whatnot. But then I don't think it would work in the schedule is the problem. So they probably have to play like URC sides. Now, Rob Rush. Mr. Rockalasoa. Good offload to Collier. Goes with the big skip to Brady Rush, who's dropped the ball this time. Who won the cricket, says LB. Not New Zealand. Oh, this ball stayed in the field of play. Luciano Gonzalez scores. And Argentina get themselves another one. So we'll go like this. We'll go like this. Now, I will mention this is a 7th place playoff matchup. The initial plan... Oh, hang on. I updated the wrong one. We changed that to 12 for the time rather than 12 for the score. There we go. That is better. Yeah, we got the 4 semi-finals coming around the corner. I'm not sure about the 5th place playoff or the 7th place playoff games as of yet. But it would depend on whether or not we need to do 2 previews or maybe just the 1. I like to rub a shark's head. I like it isn't recommended. I want to hold a Kiwi, but you have to be a professional to do that. How long does it take to become a professional sporting Kiwi? Because if it's like a less than 1 year course for a chance to hold a Kiwi, maybe you do it. Oh, what a take. Alvarez down the wing. Los Pumas score again. New Zealand caught out wide. And that is perfectly done from Argentina. They couldn't have asked for a better restart. New Zealand threw the man up in the air to take the catch, and it went straight behind them into the hands of Santiago Alvarez. And yeah, just perfectly read by Argentina. And cheers, enjoy that brown sherry. It's called cream sherry here. My wife loves the stuff. Such a good take from Alvarez. And you can see there the smile on the face of the Kiwis. They knew that they misread that one. And going for the kick at the post, does miss away to the side again. So just the 3 points separating these two sides. Now ready for the kickoff again. We have got their Pumas are pouncing down. Says Roof over. Cook there on the catch again for New Zealand. So it's back on the side of the Pumas with back-to-back kickoff retentions. Although almost on the ball for the Kiwis. It's sealed off. Trying to get that counter right, New Zealand. There's a sign of desperation here. But pick and go, New Zealand. Committing too many men to the breakdown. Rushing back there, Argentina. Vetterfeld finds the offload across. Right-hand side is wide open. It's about a 3-on-1. And the wide cut-out pass from Alvarez. In the corner they go, Argentina off the bench. It is the try scorer in the book. And Argentina now lead this match by 8 points. Oh, well, roll on the Black Ferns. What you doing, New Zealand? Go home. Says Jasmine there too. And the Pumas are pouncing down here. The Pumas have come out absolutely firing. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again. It's that first try that the New Zealanders seem to concede that well and truly puts their opposition back in the game. We saw it right at the end of the first half. Argentina were able to score it. Kicking this one and it goes over too. Just to add that little bit more pressure onto New Zealand for the final minute of this match. New Zealand could finish as low as 8th if they were to lose this contest. All Black Sevens are the younger, annoying brother. Here's Jasmine there. Now ready to kick this one off. We'll mention the next game that is taking place, ladies and gentlemen, will be South Africa versus Australia. That is kicking off in an hour and 20 minutes time. We will be covering that one on the channel too. Nice take from Roderick Solo. Lands hard on the ground. It seems like quite a process to hold a Kiwi. I don't have the time for that. Maybe you could get like a green screen ball and then like CGI one so that you're holding it. Penalty goes the way of New Zealand. In fact, you probably get AI to just make you a picture with you holding on to it, couldn't you? Worst comes to worst, and just tell people you did the course. Up the wires, says Mondo. Ball's still there for the Kiwis. I believe Argentina are currently playing with 6 men on the field. Well, there is the 7th on the field, but he's still lying down from an injury. That's a forward pass from New Zealand out wide. Referee doesn't call it, so it will be play on. Roderick Solo cutting back inwards. They won't get the win, but they'll score a final try in this game for Solo. And that is going to be full-time. New Zealand will be defeated by the thin margin of just the 3 points. Argentina more clinical at the start of the second half, making the absolute most of it. Up the wires, says Mondo there. And as the women's sevens rugby are playing in the same place as the men's, they certainly are, yes. So what will happen is they'll have the 2 men's semi-finals, and then straight after it, it's the 2 women's finals, semi-finals. So New Zealand are playing the USA, and then Australia are playing France. Can someone tell me who won the cricket today? It wasn't that close in the end. Anyone who doesn't want to hear the cricket score as well, be sure to turn off the stream now. But in the end, hopefully everyone's left by now. India were able to win that one. If you could have one Warrior player in the New Zealand Sevens setup, who would it be? I've always wondered, I know that it's like a really generic, boring one, but I've always wondered how Roger Tuivasa-Sheck would have gone in like a Sevens format. We got to see him in Union briefly, but like Sevens, it would have been quite cool. Mulitalo, is he still with the Warriors this season? He's another one who I think would be quite dangerous as a clinical finisher. But the end of this matchup, New Zealand lose 24-21. Argentina moving through to face off the winner of France versus GB. So we could actually see a rematch from the group stages in that regard. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We have got an hour 19 until that next contest. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and of course subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.